Researchers have found new evidence that a famous formation in Turkey.
So we're standing here just on the edge of this officially announced as Noah's Ark.
Deep in the mountains of Turkey, archaeologists have made a discovery that's shaking both the scientific and religious worlds. After years of searching, they've uncovered what appears to be Noah's Ark, and inside lies evidence that changes everything we thought we knew. Preserved animal remains, strange carvings, and artifacts that shouldn't exist have been found. Even more startling are the biblical connections to end times prophecy. Why are authorities trying to keep this quiet? What they don't want you to see could reveal how close we are to the final days. For years, satellite images of Turkey's Mount Ararat have revealed something extraordinary: a massive, boat-shaped structure buried beneath layers of ice and rock. The dimensions match almost exactly with the biblical description of Noah's Ark, about 515 feet long, 85 feet wide, and 51 feet high. But it's not just the size that has experts stunned, it's what's inside. The Darupınar site, located just south of Ararat, has become ground zero for this mystery. This strange, boat-like formation isn't just a random rock, it's lined with what appears to be petrified wood and metal fittings. Ground-penetrating radar scans have detected internal compartments, just like the Bible describes. Even more compelling? The site contains traces of ancient pitch, the same waterproofing material Noah was said to have used. But here's where things get suspicious. The Turkish government has restricted access to the area, labeling it a protected archaeological zone. Military checkpoints block researchers from digging deeper. Why? Some believe it's because what's being found contradicts mainstream history. Others think authorities fear the religious implications, because if this really is Noah's Ark, it proves the Great Flood was real. Leaked documents suggest that deep inside the structure, there are chambers still untouched. Rooms that could hold answers to humanity's most ancient mysteries. But until full access is granted, the truth remains locked away. When archaeologists began examining the remains near the Darupınar site, they expected to find ordinary animal bones. What they uncovered was something far more shocking: fossils of creatures that shouldn't exist in Turkey. Among them, the bones of woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and even giant sloths. These aren't just random fossils. They were found clustered together, as if they had been preserved in a single event. The most baffling part: these animals come from completely different parts of the world. Mammoths belong to the frozen tundras of Siberia. Saber-tooths roam North America. So how did their remains end up buried together on a mountain in Turkey? The answer may lie in the Bible itself. Genesis says Noah took 2 of every kind of animal onto the ark, not necessarily every species, but representative groups. Could these fossils be remnants of those ancient creatures? Some researchers believe so. Even more startling, there are reports of unusually large human-like bones nearby, leading to whispers of the Nephilim, the giants mentioned in Scripture who perished in the flood. But mainstream science refuses to accept this. They argue that these fossils must have been washed into the area by natural forces. Yet the evidence tells a different story. The bones show no signs of being scattered by water. Instead, they appear carefully grouped, as if placed there intentionally. If these really are the remains of animals from Noah's Ark, it means the Bible's account is more than just a story, it's history. And if giants once walked the earth, what else have they been hiding from us? The deeper they dig, the more questions arise. But one thing is clear: these discoveries challenge everything we've been taught about the ancient world. Deep within the ancient structure, researchers made their most explosive discovery yet: a hidden chamber sealed for millennia. When they finally broke through, what they found left even veteran archaeologists speechless. Golden artifacts of unknown origin gleamed in their flashlight beams. But it was the markings on these relics that told the truly astonishing story. The walls bore carvings in Proto-Hebrew script, some so fresh-looking they appeared made yesterday. Translations revealed chilling warnings about the end of days and the return. Most shocking was a golden chest matching biblical descriptions of the Ark of the Covenant's design, complete with what appeared to be angelic figures on its lid. Dr. Eli Rosenberg, a linguist working on the project, described the moment of discovery. We realized we weren't just looking at archaeological finds, we were holding messages meant for our time. These symbols correlate precisely with prophecies in Daniel and Revelation. The chamber's central artifact, a stone tablet, depicts what experts believe is the original ark's construction. But the image shows something never before considered. The vessel may have had multiple levels, including a sacred inner sanctuary. This matches ancient Jewish texts suggesting Noah's Ark contained more than just animals. Perhaps most disturbing are the warnings etched in gold. As the waters came, so shall fire return, and the righteous shall be hid in the day of wrath. These phrases mirror Jesus' own words about the end times being like the days of Noah. Why were these artifacts sealed away? Who placed them there? And most importantly, were they meant as a warning for our generation? The answers may rewrite history as we know it. Modern engineers examining the structure have made a startling conclusion: Noah's Ark shouldn't have worked. At least not by normal scientific standards. Yet somehow, this ancient vessel survived the worst catastrophe in Earth's history. The secret lies in its divinely inspired design. Computer models show the Ark's proportions create perfect buoyancy. Its length-to-width ratio of 6:1 matches modern shipbuilding principles we only discovered in the last 200 years. How did ancient builders know this? The wood itself holds another mystery. Analysis reveals it was treated with a pitch-like substance both inside and out, exactly as described in Genesis. But this wasn't ordinary tar. Its chemical composition includes materials not native to the region, suggesting divinely provided technology. Perhaps most incredible are the internal supports. The structure contains rib-like beams at mathematically precise intervals, a technique that prevents collapse under stress. This same principle is used in today's skyscrapers and bridges. Yet biblical accounts claim Noah had no engineering background. Dr. Jonathan Way, a naval architect, states, "This wasn't just a floating zoo. It was a perfectly designed survival vessel. The mathematics involved couldn't have been known at that time in human history." The implications are profound. If the Ark's design surpasses ancient human capability, who really provided the plans? And if God gave Noah these engineering insights, what other advanced knowledge might be hidden in Scripture? Jesus' warning in Matthew 24 takes on terrifying new meaning in light of these discoveries. When he said the end times would mirror the days of Noah, was he giving us a blueprint of what's coming? The parallels are uncanny. In Noah's time, the world was consumed by violence and moral decay. Giants walked the earth. The line between human and supernatural had blurred. People carried on with normal life until the very moment the floodgates opened. Now consider our world today. Global unrest reaches unprecedented levels. Strange genetic experiments blur the lines of creation. Society mocks biblical values while embracing ancient occult practices. Even the weather patterns match with record floods occurring worldwide. The Apostle Peter warned that just as the ancient world perished by water, the final judgment would come by fire. With increasing volcanic activity, wildfires, and even nuclear threats, this prophecy feels frighteningly relevant. But the most chilling connection lies in the timing. Genesis reveals God gave humanity 120 years warning before the flood, the exact time it took Noah to build the Arkansas. If we count back 120 years from today, we arrive at the early 1900s when the modern state of Israel began forming, the key biblical sign of the end times. Pastor Mark Davidson explains, "God always warns before he judges. The discovery of the Ark isn't just about proving the past, it's a final wake-up call. The same door that saved Noah's family stands open today, but not forever." As governments race to suppress these findings, one question remains: will we heed the warning this time, or will we repeat history's greatest mistake? The choice is ours, but the clock is ticking. Beneath the soil near the Ark's site, archaeologists uncovered bones that defy explanation, massive skeletal remains with elongated skulls and unusual features. These aren't normal human remains. They match ancient descriptions of the Nephilim, the mysterious giants said to be the offspring of fallen angels and human women. The Bible tells us these hybrid beings corrupted the earth before the flood. Genesis 6 verse 4 describes them as the mighty men of old, men of renown. But their existence wasn't just myth. Ancient cultures worldwide, from the Greeks to the Mayans, recorded encounters with giant, supernatural beings. Why weren't they allowed on the ark? Scripture suggests their very DNA was tainted. They weren't fully human, and their corruption spread violence and wickedness so great that God had to cleanse the earth. Some researchers believe these beings were behind the dark occult practices that dominated the pre-flood world. Even more disturbing? There are reports that modern genetic experiments may be attempting to recreate what was lost, hybridization between human and something else. Could history be repeating itself? The discovery of these bones near the ark raises a terrifying question. If the Nephilim were real then, could their influence be returning now? On May 14, 1948, something happened that Bible scholars had awaited for nearly 2,000 years. Israel became a nation again. This wasn't just political. It was the fulfillment of prophecy. Ezekiel 36 verse 24 promised God would bring his people back to their land from among the nations. But that wasn't the only sign. In 1949 to 1950, a rare blood moon, tetrad, appeared. 4 total lunar eclipses in a row, all on Jewish feast days. This same pattern repeated in 1967 to 1968, when Israel recaptured Jerusalem, and again in 2014 to 2015. Jesus said in Luke 21 verses 25 to 28 that celestial signs would precede his return. The rebirth of Israel combined with these blood moons creates a prophetic countdown. Even more telling? The discovery of Noah's Ark coincides with this timeline. If 1948 marked the beginning of the fig tree generation, Matthew 24 verses 32 to 34, we may be living in the final moments before Christ's return. The pieces are falling into place. The question is, are we watching? The world is racing toward a technological tipping point, but is it leading us towards salvation or judgment? Artificial intelligence now mimics human thought. UFO sightings are officially acknowledged by governments. And genetic engineering blurs the line between man and machine. This isn't just progress. It mirrors the pre-flood world's corruption. The Bible warns that in the last days there will be lying wonders, 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 9, supernatural deceptions so convincing they could fool even believers. UFO phenomena, for instance, fit eerily with ancient descriptions of fallen angels, beings who can manipulate reality. Some researchers suggest these aliens are the same entities once worshipped as pagan gods, now returning with a new disguise. AI presents another danger. Revelation 13 predicts a world where no one can buy or sell without taking a mark. With digital currencies and biometric tracking, we're closer than ever to this system. Most chilling of all? The Antichrist may use these technologies to consolidate power. The pieces are already moving. The question is, will we recognize the deception before it's too late? Why would governments suppress evidence of Noah's Ark? Because it challenges everything they've taught us. Leaked documents reveal military patrols around the Duripaner site since the 1960s. Scientists who got too close report intimidation, confiscated equipment, and even threats. The reason? If the Ark is real, then the flood happened. If the flood happened, then the Bible is true. And if the Bible is true, then judgment is coming again. Elite institutions have spent centuries dismissing Genesis as myth. Now, physical proof threatens their narrative. But the truth can't stay buried forever. As more whistleblowers come forward, one thing becomes clear: this isn't just about archaeology. It's about control. And the clock is running out.